welcome to the first inaugural spinoff episode, I guess, of Hawk and Paul talking, and we're gonna call it Metal Shop for right now. Working title. Um, I guess Metal Shop with Hawk, and I'll go with my other name. We'll go with Captain. I'm not the captain of shit. That is literally the name people have given me as Captain.
Really, I gave myself this name clearly, but
Yeah.
and it's kind of awesome too because they tell you your whole life you can't give yourself your own nickname, and I fucking did it, so I
I
love it.
I've been called comic book guy, video game guy, uh CBG, which was comic book guy.
Mm.
My one good friend calls me the General because my last name's Lee, so he always calls me the General.
Yeah,
And then when I started doing the YouTube channel, I didn't have a gimmick, I didn't have no nickname, no nothing, and people started calling me the Captain, and they called me Captain Cartoon, and it stuck. And then I called them the Platoon, so that kind of stuck. So people call me the Captain now, even when I'm out doing shit. So
that's
and
awesome.
yeah, or the Clutch Guy, or the,
The clutch guy.
yeah,
Mine's a gamer tag. It was supposed to be a joke, like all of the capital letters the way they are was supposed to be like funny. It's back in like I want to say it was like 2014, 15. It was supposed to be like a gamer tag joke where I don't know. You'd have to it was a competitive video game guy, like shooter guy, you know? So it used to be like my tag used to be Hawk and Rolla. That's what it was for a couple years prior to that. And then when I started playing Gears of War, I changed it to HawkNLoad. And then the irony is that like what I do now as HawkNLoad, like Hawk and Rolla would have been way more
more
brand
appropriate.
appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Wild.
sometimes, man, somebody will take your nickname and roll it around until it becomes a new nickname, and now that's where you're at.
I wanted a pun that wasn't like um that wasn't rock, right? I didn't want Hawk to replace rock. And so I came up with that. I thought it was dope.
Yeah, it's
I still think it's pretty dope. Now I don't like the way like I can't I either have to type it out in all lowercase or I have to do the capital letters correctly. So or it like bugs me when I type it out. If I type it out and I send it off with like a lowercase L or something, it's fucking drives me
I,
nuts.
I do the same thing. I'll be writing something, and I'll be like, get a fan letter or something. I'll type it out, and I'll write the Captain or Captain Cartoon, and then I won't pay attention that I did not capitalize the C in Captain. I'm like, so I have to go
Yeah,
all the way back
dude.
there, cut that.
Hmm.
It's like,
The old
oh god
people
damn it.
email shit. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So
I should type. I still type like I got like most of my typing takes place on this keyboard that's like way not in a convenient spot because my setup is primarily set up the way it is for gaming. So the I have two computers and this goes to the gaming PC that has like nothing on. I don't do anything on it but play games. So it's super clean. And I got it in 2018 and it still runs like a dream because I don't install anything on it. I do it all on uh this computer here that I'm staring at and talking to you on. I
yeah,
beat the shit out of this thing. This thing is like on its last legs. If I wanted to restart this computer right now, it would take 20 minutes before I could talk to you again. If I wanted, I could restart this computer. I could press restart on it. It's probably 15 seconds on the gaming PC.
oh man, I
It's wild.
I just got a gaming PC because, ironically enough, they're great for editing and stuff.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, and my kid talked me into that one, so I bought this one, and it runs great. But I still got my old one over there, which still got some shit on it that I got to put on this one. And I'm getting stuff that used to take hours, like
Yeah,
legitimate hours to upload an entire episode because some of my shows are all long.
the
And
render. Yeah, and
and
I'm guessing you don't do like crazy edits to it either.
no,
Yeah.
I've most of my shows when I'm done with them, especially like my this show, unless people get up and leave, or something really, weird happens or something, like, or your dog or whatever, I kind
Right.
of can edit that out. But the way our conversations usually go, if I cut out any part of a conversation, you're not going to know where the hell we came from and how we got to that point. So
Yeah.
you're lost.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that people always have liked about my show since the very, very beginning. What was just a podcast was, they're like, you feel like you're just hanging out with these, two
Mhm.
guys or whoever was on the show, and hanging out and bullshitting with them. And that's what I liked about doing this, is I
Heck
had
yeah.
fun just hanging out and talking, getting information out there, stuff like that, but still having it in a personable conversation type of way.
See, maybe we can take this because I have a literal line of people. So a couple months ago, maybe like a month and a half or so, I set up like Talk and Roll, which was supposed to be like a podcast I did,
Yeah.
and I wasn't sure what to do with it. I just knew I wanted to do that. And last year I did the Hawk and Co podcast, which was me talking to a bunch of just interesting people.
Yep.
But it was really difficult to coordinate guests and do everything else that I'm doing. So it ended up falling off. It's all, I think it all lives on Spotify if you're interested in listening to it, and the video versions are on my Patreon now. But yeah, I did that, and then that fell off. I was going to bring back this Talk and Roll, so I posted on Facebook about wanting to talk to like underground unsigned bands
Yeah.
and feature them on this show, because I'm not like, I can't do reviews. I mean, I'll tell you what I think about the album you give me, right?
Yeah.
But like, I can't. I'm too nice. I'm too socially awkward to be like, and I'm too picky. You know what I mean?
Oh
And
yeah.
I don't want to tell some band that I don't fucking like them when they're like really excited to talk to me. So like, but I will. I think there's tons of. I okay, fucking secret. I hate Def Leppard. Hate Def Leppard. I did a video 2 days ago about Rick Allen because that
Hmm.
story's fucking amazing. His
Yeah.
story's amazing, right? I could still really enjoy the history of a band and respect what they've done and what they contribute,
Yeah.
but not like the music. And some people are not like that.
Yeah. See, I have, I literally have friends, close friends, have bands. I'm not a fan of their bands, but I'm still, hey, good on them. I'll promote them. I'll tell people,
Mhm.
that's not my music, but hey, they're talented. They've got talent. It's just not I will push that.
I'm always, dude. There's always something I can connect with the person
Yeah.
with, though. That was like, I want to talk to you guys. Like, what's your process? How did you come? Like, what is your history? You tell me your history. I'll put a microphone up, and you can tell all these people,
Yeah.
right? And I thought that'd be a really good idea. So maybe we can spin that. Maybe
Yeah.
because I've got like 8 or 9 bands slash artists in that new email I set up that are like that were hitting me up to be on the show.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Shit. Yeah. I'll be down for that. 100%. And I could probably get some more people too. So
Yeah, I think that could be dope.
that's
I have
it.
a guy, I have a guy tonight. He has a radio show, and he asked me if he could play my videos on the radio. I thought that was dope. But I also have like another guy, another buddy. I think it's in Chicago, a radio show in Chicago. He does. He'll play my videos like over there sometimes too, which I thought was super cool. I got to call in and talk to him once. This fucking that's I was like, what the fuck is happening? This is wild. That's dope.
See,
Made it.
I've not done the call in on a radio show, but I got to call in on another YouTuber's live show.
All right, all right, all right.
And we had a big long discussion about stupid shit, but mostly toys, but yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Dude, I bet we could get Kevin Smith over here, bro. That guy
See,
loves to talk.
yeah, he does. I
Kevin Smith's the whole reason I like podcasts at all. The whole first, like, I want to say like 6 or 7 years of podcasts that I listened to were all Kevin Smith's podcasts.
holy shit.
Yeah.
See, God, I can't remember what's the first one I got into.
Jay and Silent Bob Get Old was mine because those first few episodes of like Jay telling his story in detail, it's fucking insane.
yeah. Well, what's funny is that I got secondhand information from a couple customers who were friends with Jay, and I got a lot of information from them guys, and you're just like, how is he still alive? You know?
Yeah, no, Jay Muse should be dead, but he's not, and he's killing it. He's got I think 2 kids now, or he has Logan and I think his wife might be pregnant. I don't know. I like touch up with him sometimes, but he streams on Twitch and stuff, and he's really good at it and
Yeah.
enjoys it. I'm excited for him.
Hey,
Like I know more about that guy's life than I know about anybody else because he like just opened it all up on that show. And yeah, Jason Mewes is supposed to be dead, like, and he's not, and
yeah.
that's
Well,
fucking crazy.
it's bad is like I said, when I met him years ago when my kids were little, and he was all kinds of fucked up at a con. He just giving away shit left and right, and then he just wanders off.
Hmm.
He gave away everything he had on his table, and then just disappeared. And you never saw him the rest of the weekend. And you're just like, okay, is he here? No, okay, he's in his hotel
Okay.
room. All right, whatever. So I like my the one guy who's telling me, he goes, yeah, he goes, I'm sitting there, and he goes, I get a knock on the door. He goes, I open the door, there's Jay. And he's like, man, can I crash at your house? And he's like, yeah, I guess. And then he goes, he goes, then I'm worried. He goes, because he's obviously high, and, and he goes, is he going to steal anything? Is he going to get fucked up?
Right.
Do something? And he went in, he laid on the couch, out. He goes,
Yeah.
he gets up the next morning, like goes in the refrigerator and disappears, and he gets back in his car and's gone. I was like, so, and
That sounds about right.
yeah. And he goes, the rumor is, and whether this is true or not, I don't know. This is secondhand knowledge. He goes, what he did was he would get his per diem for hotel rooms and shit, and he'd spend it on drugs. And then
Right.
you go find a fan's house because a fan would put him up, crash, then you crash
Right.
it. So, hell, he figured it out, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got it together now. And
Yeah.
he's been pretty solid for a while.
Yeah.
I'm proud of the guy. He's a really nice guy.
Definitely good to see. Definitely good to see people get their shit together.
Kevin Smith too. He's fucking they're both totally different people now, man.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, was not a fan of Jay and Silent Bob reboot,
I
but
haven't seen it yet. Like
but
I
I'm
have told you, like I don't watch anything anymore. So I haven't seen Clerks 3. I haven't seen the reboot.
Clerks 3 hits a little close to home. I'm not gonna lie. It's
Well, it's his story. Yeah.
yeah,
He wrote it as Randall, which was like
yeah,
super interesting.
yeah, because he was Randall in
Yeah.
originally. That's who he
Well,
was.
no. Originally Randall was Brian. So Brian Johnson is who Randall's based off of. Dante is Kevin Smith.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like so writing because the I haven't seen it. The plot is
Yeah.
Randall has a heart attack and almost
Yep.
dies. Yeah. And
So he
then
decides to
decides
make a
to get his
movie of
shit
his
together.
life. Yeah.
Right.
All this.
And that's Kevin Smith. That's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah. It fucking up and damn near dying will definitely fucking wake you up.
Dude, my biggest fear is not dying. I'm not afraid to die. I'm not worried about like not that I'm not worried. I'm worried what would be left behind, right? And I'm and the people who would miss me. That's
Yeah.
not saying, but I'm not afraid to be dead because I'll be dead.
Yeah.
And but what I'm afraid of is like having a stroke and not being able to move anymore. Right? I'm terrified of that.
The two things scare the shit out of me are the exact opposites, especially since my wife works at she works at assisted living with people with dementia and stuff like that. It's Alzheimer's and dementia scares me because your body's fine, but your brain's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's the other way around with like ALS, where your body's gone, but your brain's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Either one of them scare the hell out of me
Yeah.
because you're just like,
Yeah.
you're trapped either way.
I told everybody, I'm like, if I ever get to a point where I'm like totally unable to move, just let me go. Just let me fucking be done. That's the end of the story.
I, I
But
told my
like
wife,
I could probably overcome losing my legs, you know, not my arms. But yeah, being like locked into your own body would drive me insane because I don't like I'm always doing something. I have to always be doing something, otherwise I start to think, and I don't
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
I'm not, you know.
I'm the same way. I'm a guy. I've got to keep going, and I'm always doing something. Whether I'm working on my shows, I'm reading, I'm writing, doing whatever. It's when I get stuck by myself alone and there's nothing to do.
Dude, it's like I don't like being able to assess how feel at the moment. Like where I don't like I don't know how to explain it. I got I got problems with like I've never seen a doctor. I don't I need to see a doctor, but like yeah. It's I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well,
I don't want to say that I have any sort of like issues because I couldn't say for certain because I've never seen
yes.
I don't haven't seen a doctor in I haven't been to a doctor. I think I went once in like 2015 to have like a PCP look at my knees. Um and that's the only time since I got like the required shots I needed for middle school. That I've never had health insurance. I didn't have it growing up. I don't have it now. So like
Oh, I I went through the same thing. I had really good health insurance for a very brief period of time, and then none for years. The only time I ever went to the hospital was when I got injured at work or something happened,
then they would pay
and
for it.
I went in, got it taken care of, went on my way. I did go to the doctor not horribly long ago, but it was only because literally my wife worked at the doctor's office. That is my doctor. So it was kind of, I had to go. Um,
Right.
and I always tell everybody, I was like, I don't go to the doctor. And like, why? I was like, I want whatever kills me to be a surprise.
Yeah, no shit.
Because
Yeah, as long as it gets you though.
yeah,
Like
it's,
I don't want whatever's killing me to be bad at killing
yeah.
me.
No, nothing could be worse at killing me than me. Uh,
That as I smoke a cigarette. Yeah, people make fun of the way I talk and like the inflection that I do in these. But when I write these lines, by the time I get to the end of the line, I can't breathe anymore. So that's like where a lot of that comes from. Like, I don't know. It's a random thought. I fucking it. I kept running out of breath. I like ran up the stairs. I turned the air conditioner off and I turned my fan off and I sat down to record the video today and I was like trying to get it done so I could get to editing and I was still out of breath from sprinting up the stairs. And I'm like trying to do these lines, and I can't get them out. And it's because I mean, you know, it's a different. I'm like projecting, so I'm like
yeah,
expending more
you gotta be
breath.
able to emote and be able to get, yeah,
Yeah, it was fucking. Ugh.
it's, I my now, because he's 13 today, my youngest. When he was little, so 3 or 4, when he was really getting where he'd take off running, I was in bad shape. I was not healthy. I was eating garbage. I wasn't exercising. I thought, oh, I'm fit. I go to work and I do this, this, and this. And I found out is like I couldn't run anymore. I get winded, running fucking water. And one day, man, I was like, my wife looks at me because you want to go start going to the gym, and I was like, I don't. Well, maybe I'll just go with you. And then I started liking it, and then she's the one who kind of fell off on it. I go 3 times a week. I have decent cardio now, but it's literally because I've had to bust my ass for like last X amount of years. I went from probably just shy of 250, and the other day I weighed myself. I was 167. since I started going to the gym. So
How
now,
tall are you?
huh?
How tall are you?
5'9", 5'10", fluctuate.
Dude, I weigh probably 10 pounds more than you do, but I'm 6'4".
Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah.
You're a tall
I
dude.
want to build muscle. If I was gonna work out, it would be to get bigger. But I can't eat like that, man. I wouldn't be able to take in the required number of calories to build anything.
Well, the thing is, though, is you wouldn't even have to eat a lot. You just got to eat the right stuff. That's just a high calorie, you know, protein or whatever. I I discovered recently, man. I of all things, we all go out on Saturdays after I close up the shop, and we usually snag food because, like I said, by the time we get done closing the shop up at 8 o'clock, we get out about 8:30. You know, all of our families have eaten, so it's just us. We as a group go out to eat, and Applebee's is like the all you can eat boneless wings. And usually we go there, we eat like fucking pigs. We used to.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And we went through this last time, and I'm like sitting there and I ate, and I was like, man, I'm still a little hungry. And then they gave me the plate, and I'm just staring at it. By the time the plate got to me,
Yeah, it's settled, dude.
yeah, I wasn't
Yeah,
hungry no more. I was like,
you gotta give it a buffer time. Yeah, yeah, dude. Fuck yeah.
yeah.
Like I'll get to the end like whenever we order. We had pizza last night. I don't order out too much, but we ordered pizza last night, and I got to the end of what I was eating, and I was like, all right, I think maybe I didn't overdo it. And then like 5 minutes later, I'm like laying in bed, like
Oh,
this is not, yeah, like
oh man.
fuck, dude. I go to Dunkin' Donuts every day, even though roast umber is much better. But I go to Dunkin' Donuts every day, and I went in a couple days ago, and Kate wanted donuts. She was like just wanted like normal glazed donut, and so I ordered that on the app. But while I was sitting in there, I saw these vanilla headlights sitting up there, and I don't eat sweets much at all. I don't eat much at all of anything. But I saw those, and I was like, "Fuck! I want two of those." So I ordered two of those fucking vanilla headlights, and I ate them both in the I don't know minute and a half trip between the Dunkin' Donuts and my house. And by the time I got home, I like wanted to die. It wasn't like a full thing. I was like, I can feel the insulin just ejecting from my pancreas right now.
Mine
Oof.
is me and my buddy went up to Michigan, and he's like, man, he goes, I'm hungry. And I'm like, all right, let's find a place I can get like a chicken wrap or something, you know, because I usually eat small meals anymore. And he's like, so we stopped a couple places, fucking they were closed. And so finally it was like, he's like, I'm just going to eat at Burger King. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'm eating Burger King.
Mm,
And I ate Burger King, and within 5 minutes, I felt horrible
yeah,
because I don't eat fast food like at all.
really.
And probably before that, probably at least 5 years since the last time I had Burger King, and it was probably five
Uh,
years before that that I had Burger King.
we had a Burger King that popped up right next to the house, but like they staffed it so poorly. There was like this weird rash of fake Burger Kings out here in Pittsburgh, in the Pittsburgh area. Yeah, like they weren't because the way it works is you pay
Yeah, you pay the
a
franchise fee.
franchisee pays Burger King to be a
Yeah,
Burger King basically, and it's essentially just a small business, but not really.
yeah,
And they weren't franchises of Burger King, but they were set up as Burger King. So they were like, it was weird. But so I don't know who was running the franchises around here. That Burger King's gone now. They got rid of people. And I think they said they were opening Popeyes there. I'm kind of stoked about that because it's right next to my house.
oh yeah,
And yeah, no, I went there like once or twice, and the people there sucked so bad that worked there. They were fucking, it was like you were walking in one of those gimmick restaurants where everybody's a fucking cunt. You know what I mean? Where like that's the gimmick, like they
yeah,
throw the menus at you and then they call you a bitch and like you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it was fucking like that. But a Burger King. It was awful. Nobody went there. So it shut down. There's an Arby's, I love Arby's, but most people don't most people don't think Arby's first. I'll go to Arby's all day. I love Arby's. But and that's been up there the entire time we lived here. It's going strong, just fine. There's a Wendy's, there's a McDonald's a little bit up the road. So I'll go there, but nobody was going to that Burger King. And there's no reason that a Burger King wouldn't thrive in this area if it was even half decent. They would have been fine.
Yeah. See, we've got McDonald's here in town. We've got one on one side of town, one on the other. The one on this side of town, pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty on the ball. They almost never screw up food. You got the one on the other side of town where there for a while it was 7 out of 10 times I went there, they fucked up the food. And for me, it was easier because it was not just down the road from the gym. So I would hit the gym. I would swing by McDonald's, grab my kid his lunch because he loves their freaking Happy Meals because he's a kid. And I would grab his meals and then I'd bring them home, drop them off to him. And then I would go on to work. And they screw up every time. Now you go out there and I think the oldest person that works there is like 15. I mean, I'm not kidding. You go up there and you open up the window and they hand you your food and it looks like a 10-year-old.
Like a child, like the oversized clothes
I'm
flopping
just
around in
looking
the
at
shoes.
them like, are you old enough to be operating anything?
No shit. This is not illegal? Yeah, no kidding.
But
That's my McDonald's is perfect. Everything is always perfect. It's like McDonald's. People fucking shit on McDonald's, but I think they shit on McDonald's for so long that McDonald's like fucking got their shit together. Because if you go to a good McDonald's, you'll fuck that double quarter pounder looks exactly like the picture that you looked at. It's fucking crazy. But I only eat once a day, so I calorie load because I have a physical job. So yeah, I can fucking throw down. Like my McDonald's order is a double quarter pounder and a basket of fries plus a medium fry plus 20 piece nuggets that I usually end up sharing with Doc a little bit. But like I fucking throw down. Like my Wendy's orders, the triple baconator, 2 large fries, fucking some nuggets. Yeah, no, it's so I'll throw it down when I do. So I want to kill myself at the end of every meal that I get out, but it's mostly just because of how much I've eaten.
yeah.
But I kind of gotta, you know what I mean? What did I have? I had something. I'm making chicken tacos tonight, which I'm very excited about. Fuck, I'm very excited about that. And maybe it was chicken tacos the last time I had it. Dude, I woke up the next morning and I don't get like heartburn or nothing. I'm, my insides are pretty good. My lungs are probably black, but like my insides are pretty good. And dude, I woke up. I would have swore I was just like chugged lava or something. It was wild. God, yeah, but I can throw down some fucking McDonald's, bro. Love it.
The one that gets me is the food that I like is the dumbest food that you can eat. I don't know if you have them over there, but speedways now have these little restaurants inside of them locally.
Oh yeah, we got like Sheets
Yeah,
and Gecko. We have speedways out here, but I don't know if they have
yeah.
the
You can go in there and you go up to the little kiosk and you order your food, and I get a chicken wrap. I get a chicken,
yeah.
two different types of chicken wraps. Occasionally, I'll get a burger, whatever. And it's it tastes really good for
You
Speedway.
have Sheets out there, right? Do you guys have Sheets or is it too
No,
far out? Bro, Sheets bangs. Sheets is so good. They
we're
started that shit.
we're slowly getting we're getting a Buc-ee's within the next couple months, and I think we're getting a Wawa in the next few months.
Wawa is the one that people say when I talk about Sheets. Yeah, dude, if you get a Sheets out there, fucking Sheets is awesome. I don't have one like in any convenient location. They are all over the place. But I work right next to a Get Go, which is like a imitation of that
Yeah, I've been
from
to
this
Get-Go's. Yeah.
corporation that runs, Giant Eagles, the grocery store. And I don't know how far out they go. That's like talking to people, telling them about Publix. Like if you're not in Florida, like that's like the biggest grocery chain,
Oh yeah,
all the way up to probably like South Carolina.
yeah.
I'm guessing they're up. They got to be up that far by now.
I know I've been to those on the road. Um,
They're
Kroger,
crazy, dude.
yeah, Kroger's is the one that's local for us,
Mm.
and I didn't know like I thought Kroger's because I hate to say this, but when I grew up, my dad was big in NASCAR, and like they had Kroger sponsors, and I was like, oh, there's gotta be Kroger's all over.
Mm.
No, it's like a Midwest thing.
Yeah, it's a super Midwest thing.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh
Hmm.
shit, okay, the thing it doesn't exist outside of okay, so
Yeah, it's crazy. Like where I'm from, Checkers and Rallies. Checkers and Rallies are the same fucking restaurant.
mhm,
But where I'm from, they're Checkers. It's Checkers. But
yeah,
like as you go north, like
they
it's
could come
still
rallies.
Checkers. It's just called Rallies. And I'm
Yep.
like, that doesn't make any sense. That's
Well,
weird.
what was it, Hardee's and Carl's Jr.?
Carl's Jr. Dude, I
Yeah,
love Hardee's. There are obviously the Hardee's here somewhere. I could probably go find one, but they're not on my path. I fucking love Hardee's, bro. Hardee's is so good.
we just got a Hardee's here in town in the last couple years, and that's the first Hardee's we've had since the mid 80s, I think, maybe late 80s. But we had that one was garbage. And now this one's nice, but I never go there because to
Really?
be honest, they take forever.
Dude, it's so good.
Oh,
I
it's good
we
food.
my brother got married, my little brother got married in like 20 like probably 2014, 15, probably 2015. And he's divorced now. So but I went out to his wedding and our hotel, it was in like fucking rural Virginia, and our hotel was right next to a Hardee's, and that's all we ate the like 3 days we were there. Oh, it was so fucking good. It's so good. It's like Southern Hardee's too. I haven't
Yeah.
had like real Mexican food in years either. Like I that we on our trip back, because we drove, um in Virginia's the South, baby, right? Like
Yeah.
you get good Mexican food in Virginia. And but as soon as you get out here to the Midwest, like you can go to Mexican restaurants, but it's not fucking it's just not the same thing.
See,
But I graduated in Oklahoma, those Texas, those Tex-Mex Mexican restaurants out there, fucking so good. And I hadn't had one like that in years, except now it's been years again. But like, yeah, fuck, dude. There are like
see,
no good Mexican restaurants around here.
we got a couple good Mexican restaurants here in town, but my favorite Mexican restaurant when the Mexicans that ran it left and the white people took over, it went to
It got
shit.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah. And I got along great with the old the people that ran it, and then when the new people, it was like I haven't been back since. Um, there's one not far from my shop that's pretty good, but it's um, they're not they're Mexican, but they're more from the Yucatan.
Mm-hmm.
So they're down on the peninsula. So they're way
Mm.
down where they came from. So they little different style, and of course they got their Americanized shit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because, and as somebody posted one time, I looked up their like a Yelp review, and it was oh it's gringo food. I'm like, yeah, I mean we're in
Yeah,
Ohio.
look at
We got
where the fuck you're in Ohio. Yeah, no
yeah.
shit.
They're not they're not going to make real good Mexican food
I
in
shouldn't
Ohio.
say there's good Mexican food. I can go to a Mexican restaurant and have something that I really like, but something is not, there's something missing
Yep.
that you get when you go to a Mexican restaurant in Oklahoma or
Oh,
Arkansas. Like it's just not this. I don't know if it's the water. I don't know if it's the queso. I don't know what the fuck it is.
yeah.
There's this like queso blanc or what is it fucking called? I don't know what it's called. It's this like white shredded cheese that they put on the tacos, but I don't know what kind of cheese it is at
Queso
all.
fresca.
It might be it.
Yeah.
It's fucking so good.
Uh, the one I like is queso Oaxaca, which is another queso cheese, but it's got a little bit of a better taste. Um, I really dig that. Goddamn. What's really cool was last year, my wife and I were headed to Virginia, and we're Southern Ohio headed towards Virginia. We stop to go get something for lunch, and we end up in a Walmart parking lot. We find a food truck,
Nice.
Mexican food, all Mexicans. They literally they all spoke Spanish. So just you had to point to the
Point.
menu and
Yeah.
tell them what you want. And I know like this much Spanish. I'm not like this much, but I know a little bit. And so I ordered it. I'm like, what the and uh I can't remember what my wife got, but I got just a chicken cheese quesadilla. I'm like, whatever. It's easy peasy. They bring that damn thing out. It is
Oh yeah, size
this
your head.
big.
Fuck
It
yeah.
weighed a ton,
Mm,
and it was delicious. It had like five different
fuck
types of
yeah.
cheese in it.
Yeah, dude.
All melty and shit.
Yeah, dude. They don't fuck around. I love
No.
it.
And
I used to know like dirty Puerto Rican, like working in kitchens in Florida. Like the Cubans and the Puerto Ricans would teach you stuff, but I haven't had to like I used to be able to understand Spanish, like when people would speak it at me. And I knew like a little bit that I could like talk with,
yeah,
but
communicate a little bit.
I've lost all of it because I haven't needed it in a decade.
Well, that happened to me when I worked at the hotel because we had a Mexican restaurant in the hotel. So I got to know all the Mexicans, and we learned Spanish a little bit. And my boss was Korean, so I learned a little bit of Korean. Then when he left, the Indians bought it. They didn't want me to learn any Hindu because they don't want you to know that they're talking about you behind their back.
Right, yeah.
And and
Fucking sponsored by Babbel. That would make me want to learn the language.
I
Motherfucker. I wouldn't
I
tell anybody either.
I started because I end up befriending the guy on the overnight. So me and him would sit there and talk, and we'd trade movies and stuff like that. And so he taught me a little bit. And when the bosses would sit there and you could hear them, and I'd just be like, what? And they're like, what? And I'm like, what'd you just say to me? And they're like, their eyes get real big. They're like, oh shit, he just understood
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, you pick up on it. It's kind of weird how it works too. Like you
Yeah.
won't like actively learn, you just start to understand it.
Yep.
This weird vibe kind of way. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I learned a lot of Spanish just hanging out with the Mexicans at the restaurant. So,
Fuck yeah, dude.
oh yeah. Ah, shit. So, I've been wanting to ask you this for a while since we talked. Uh, Before we get into too much more, we'll get sidetracked a little bit more. Um, my son and I were going on talking about music, and we're like, okay. People go, well, what kind of music is corrosion of conformity? And I'm
Depends
like,
on what yeah, it depends
depends
on
on
what
what era,
year.
because they started out as
Yeah.
punk, then they
Yeah.
went thrash,
Trash, yeah.
and now they're
Something
stoner
else.
doom groove metal. I don't.
Yeah, it really depends. That's a band you don't really put anywhere, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with Clutch. I have people ask me
Mhm.
like, what's Clutch like? I'm like,
I've been listening to early Clutch like crazy, and it's like the last that's what I've been listening to since I made that video on Clutch.
yeah,
That's what I've been listening to in the car in the mornings. So I've been listening to a lot of like old, like early Clutch, and I'm like, I don't know what this is. This isn't like
those
metal,
first,
but it's like metal, but it's not metal.
yeah,
It's weird.
but it's that for those first two albums, Transnational Speedway and Clutch. Um, yeah, they're vastly different from them later ones. And then you
Hmm.
get into the later ones, and hell, you can have one song that's really, really rock, and then the next song is almost country.
Yeah.
And, and
There's even like some like weird stoner prog going on in the middle there too. Like, yeah. Yeah,
hell,
no, they're just Clutch.
hell, yeah, hell, Hot Bottom Feeder is him telling you how to cook crab cakes.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking Neil Fallon will make a fuck he doesn't give a shit. He'll make a song about anything.
No, no, talk about Clutch. Do you listen to any of the other offshoot bands?
Probably no.
Have you listened to the company band?
Mm-mm.
Oh
No,
man, maybe I
you talked about it last time. Last time I
maybe
was on.
maybe you should maybe I should skip Annihilator. Go find the company band. They've only got a couple EPs out. I think there's maybe 5 songs on one, 6 on the other. Um, and Neil sings. It's members of Fireball Ministry and I can't remember who else. But I love the company band, and they're right up there because I mean, you got Clutch up here, and you can just right down here you got the company band.
Nice.
So company band, the company band. There we go. And my phone's gonna run like shit today. There we are. Company band formed from a super group.
2007.
Yeah.
Clutch, Fireball Ministry, Fu Manchu,
Yep.
CKY, and Viking
Yep.
Skull.
Yep. Boy,
I didn't. Jess Margera, was it like Bam's brother?
yep.
Yeah, that makes sense because Clutch was part of that CKY
Yeah. I mean, hell,
Bam
Bam
era.
directed the video to Crowd Go or Mob Goes
Mm-hmm.
Wild. So, and back when Bam and Jackass was huge, them guys were all over everywhere. Mm. But and the best part about every once in a while they'll tour with Clutch, which is fucking great. I miss that.
So he just does a double set.
Yeah. Well, one time they did Lion Eyes, the company band, and Clutch.
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, it's like Lion Eyes is Clutch without Neil, and
Right.
then freaking company band is Neil without Clutch.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all for it, dude.
Yeah, yeah. That's your homework. Go find the company band, listen to their albums, and tell me what you think next time we
Oh
talk.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't into CKY. Like, um, I probably wasn't really into much back then. Fuck.
I got into
I don't think I was really into anything that was like current at that point.
yeah, I got into
Like I didn't get into
CKY.
Clutch until later either, like
Yeah.
till my early 20s. But yeah, no,
Yep.
back then it was AC/DC and Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath and Metallica. Like everything that I liked was.
So I'm going to ask you a big question here. 5 bands. If you want somebody to know who Hawk is as a
Mhm.
person, what 5 bands are you telling them to listen to?
Metallica, Pantera, Motorhead, Bad Religion, and Clutch. Yeah,
Yeah,
easy.
5.
Or the Misfits. Fuck, maybe not so easy. Maybe we put. I'd have probably have to put the Misfits before Clutch, but just a little bit because the Misfit. I'm big on the Misfits,
Yeah.
so I'm a little upset with myself that I didn't do that the first time. That always happens. Whenever I have to rank, I'll think it's like easy, and then I'll remember that there's a band I'm obsessed with that I didn't put in that list. Yeah.
Well, there's bands that you just love that you don't even think about. You
Mm-hmm.
know, everybody asks me like, "What's the band that got you into heavy metal?" And I'm like,
Black Sabbath.
"Oh,
I gotta answer that. That's easy.
Black Sabbath or Alice Cooper or Led Zeppelin or
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
Maybe
so
AC/DC.
yeah,
I mean, it
AC/DC.
depends on. Well, it really kind of depends on what what they mean because it's all. It's kind of wild. I was born in '91. The first band I ever got into, I was probably like 12, 13, was the Beatles. And yeah, so I went from like the Beatles into AC/DC and Black Sabbath. I kind of just followed everything chronologically. And then while I was in high school, I stopped at like the mid 90s. So most of what I like stops in the mid 90s, I would say.
I, I wanted to hate newer metal because I was black. I was death metal, thrash metal, heavy metal guy, and I was like, man, new bands are bullshit. You gotta listen to these guys; they're fucking awesome. And then then I was like, oh, okay, I like that. Like Children of
Or
Bodom was the
System of
first.
a Down.
Yeah,
Children of Bodom was another one. I got Are You Dead Yet in high school.
yeah,
I got it from Walmart, right? So I found Are You Dead Yet at a Walmart, and it was Walmart doesn't sell explicit
yeah. So it's
versions of
edited.
albums. It's edited, right? So typically, in a song, if you're going to edit out the profanity, you would just silence. You would just The
Yeah,
vocal would just go silent. But for Are You Dead Yet? Every time Alexi Laiho said the F word, they would beep it, and it was obnoxious. It was why I still really like the album, but it was so fucking. I even back then I remember the first time like listening to that, going like it blew my mind because I'd never heard it that like before in music, where
yeah.
you beep it every time. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? That's crazy.
The
It was,
fact that
yeah, it really fucking pulls you out of the song. I'll tell
oh
you
yeah,
that.
the fact that Walmart even bothered to carry
Yeah,
Children of Bodom is just
yeah.
fucking insane.
That's the testament to how big that album was for them. I just did a video on Alexi Laiho.
Yeah,
Nobody
I
saw
watched that the other day. Yeah, and well, what it was when I was a manager at Hollywood Video. I befriended a couple of the guys that were working there were a lot younger than me at the time. I was in my God, probably my 30s and early 30s, and they were in their early 20s. And I grew up on thrash metal, black, death metal, stuff like that. And these guys are like, "Oh, have you ever heard of Opeth?" I'm like, "I don't know."
mm,
They hooked me up. And Children of Bodom, you heard Children?
mm.
I was like, "Holy shit!" Children of Bodom is,
Well, Children of Bodom like is all the things you like. You just said
yeah,
Alexi Laiho is exactly what you said,
yeah,
so that makes sense.
yeah,
I would say I I like System of a Down. I like System of a Down back then too, like a lot. And I like Slipknot. Like I would say that I like Slipknot. I probably wouldn't like buy a Slipknot t-shirt, but like I like Slipknot.
yeah,
And but I told people for a decade that I hated new metal. I hate new metal because when somebody asked me about new metal, I would think, no, I fucking hate Corn. Like I hate Corn. I think it's awful. I got a lot of respect for Jonathan Davis and Monkey and all those guys
yeah,
that made the band. Um, in my older, wiser age, but I can't stand the music. And and then somebody was like, "Whoa, you like System of a Down?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like it didn't connect to me that like Slipknot and System of a Down. So I think new metal is kind of like the new wave of British heavy metal, right? That's anchored more in a period of time. I said this to somebody earlier this week I because Def Leppard is a new
yeah,
wave of
yeah,
British heavy metal
yeah.
band. But somebody was like, to think that Def Leppard and Venom are like the same fucking thing.
Yep.
And it's like that's because the new wave of British heavy metal wasn't a sound, it was a time.
Time. Yep.
It was based on a time period. That's like not a whole lot of genres are like that. They're usually like some uniform sound, but that was all that time period.
Yep.
So I feel like new metal kind of has a little bit of that going for it too.
Well, it's we had a discussion a while back on this because everybody's claiming that the first new metal album was Sepultura's Roots, and I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
And people will say that that is what started the new metal sound was Roots, and I'm like, but none of the new metal bands sound alike, and none of them sound like Sepultura.
Mm-hmm.
So how is
Yeah.
this the first of the new metal bands? And and then of course people are like, oh well, Rob Zombie's new metal. how's a band that comes out in 1985 new metal?
Well, it's White Zombie, but Rob Zombie's early stuff, late '90s stuff, was very White Zombie. So like,
Yeah,
it was still like psychedelic groove metal. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it works. I thought you had to have like I thought it was like Limp Bizkit and Corn. So I was like, no, I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I don't know.
my son asked me, he goes, "What's your favorite new metal band?" I was like, "Oh, Static X," and
Yeah,
yeah, I was like, I guess that's. I mean, I've seen them like 5 times, so
that is. I have seen Static X with Wayne Static. Yeah.
I've not seen them with Zero yet or Edsel Dope. Uh,
People are telling me that he's doing like a Wayne Static impersonation.
he does. He comes out with the mask because he's been friends with them forever.
Right.
Literally every
It
time
probably
I saw,
feels weird, right?
yeah, almost every time I saw Static X, Dope opened for them,
Mm,
and so they were always on tour together. They would always, they were friends. They hung out. He knew how to play all of his riffs, everything like that. So it just, I don't know, because I've seen video footage because I was like, oh, I want to see what it looks like. Somebody shot a professional one, and he comes out and he plays like Edsel, so he does the whole straight arm thing, but he's got the mask on, he's got the everything. I didn't think he was trying to do a Wayne impersonation because he's supposed to be a robot version of, you know,
right.
and I want to see him live myself before I judge, but I've not seen him live with.
That's just what people like comment when I talk or bring up Static X.
Yeah.
I thought it was weird. I
All
don't
right.
know because I wasn't like I'm like mad deep into Static X either. They were a great show for sure. But yeah, I don't know. New metal's weird. I don't know if I that's I just tell people I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
And
I
and
might
and
like it.
yeah.
Depends.
And because of my wife, I've developed and started liking newer metal bands. But there's some that I'm just like, yeah, I'm not listening to Bullet for My
Uh
Valentine.
yeah, never. You can fucking suck my dick, Bullet for My Valentine, like fucking shit. Yeah,
I mean,
no, I was not. I was so God, fuck Bullet for. I'm sorry. There's probably somebody go, what? And I'm like, yeah, yeah, I just can't fucking my whole since high school, I hated that band. Hated it. Like and then all of the emo rock bands back when I was a kid fucking pissed me off. I had an English teacher. I had an English was it an English teacher? I don't know. She was a bitch. Um, some fucking bitch teacher told me because I was, we were like the metalheads, like fucking like time machine metalheads, right?
yeah,
And everybody else has got their fucking black fuckboy hair,
yeah, the scene
and
boy hair and shit. Yeah,
yeah, and there was this like the fuck they were called like something Eleanor, some fuck I can't even, dude. I keep transporting back to high school, and I'm gonna get myself canceled. So okay, some dumb emo band, and like the teacher was telling me that I should play, music like that because they were like a Christian emo rock band. And I was like, fuck you. That was so it pissed me off. But no, I don't do Bullet for My Valentine at all.
nope. I've
I like how and that's your like when newer metal bands, like when I'm talking about newer metal bands, I talk about like fucking what like Slipknot, right? Like
yeah.
it's just weird to me because I don't know. I couldn't tell you a new metal band.
Well,
Like who's a new big metal band?
new big metal band.
Like a
Ice
big
Nine
metal
Kills.
band.
Uh, Alita's
I've heard
Way.
of them. I
Uh,
couldn't tell you.
well, mine is that I could not get into Ice Nine Kills at all. My wife got into them. She's like, and everybody keeps pushing on me because I love horror movies and I love metal. And they're like, dude, these guys are into heavy metal and they're into horror movies. And I'm like, they're okay. And people get mad at me because I'm just like, ah, they're okay.
I don't know.
Um,
I think Power Trip's probably my favorite newest metal band, but that's because
oh
they sound like old metal bands.
yeah.
It's like
Well,
I love Power Trip.
I dug Adrenaline Mob, and we're relatively new, and I was supposed to go see them, and then that's when the bus crash happened. So,
Mm,
you know, like
fucking
it sucked. And I mean, they're back together. I mean, they're not back together. The
yeah,
band
they're
is,
Leonard Skinner right
yeah,
now. Yeah.
and Leonard Skinner, who has absolutely at this point has no original members, not one now. But
Yeah, they
hey,
could have
yeah,
let it go. Yeah, it's kind of weird. You realize when you get older that bands are like a business, like they work like a business.
oh yeah, well,
Once
it's like,
once they get to that size, they're like literally a business. Like there are contracts and like fucking board members
mhm.
and you can get fucking kicked out of your own band
Oh yeah,
and they just
well,
take all your music. It's
we
fucking
just talked
crazy.
about Sepultura.
Hmm.
I seen them like 5 times back in the late '90s. That band doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
It's a whole different band now.
Hmm.
You got Max and Igor, and they're doing the Calvera conspiracy, or they're doing
Hmm.
Soulfly, which was great because the last time I saw Soulfly, they did the entire show was them doing Roots from beginning to end.
Right.
And then they came out with the 2 opening bands, and then they did Ace of Spades, and this is right after Lemmy died when I saw them.
Right.
I can't remember what other Motorhead song they did, but they like there's like 10 guys on this little tiny stage in a club, and they're playing freaking Motorhead. So
That's like that was always that sound it feels weird. Guys that big being on a stage that small. I'm sure they love it.
yeah,
That was always kind of the weirdest part of the Dime story to me was like, why was Dime playing a fucking the Alo Rosa Villa in fucking Columbus, Ohio?
because
Right?
Damage Plan wasn't big yet.
I guess, dude. He's
Yeah,
Dimebag Darrell. Like,
yeah, but still, it's okay. A friend of mine works for the Kings of Thrash. That is 2/3 or shit. At some points, it's 3/4 of Megadeth, and they're
mhm.
playing little clubs. Dave Mustaine's
Yeah.
the only member of Megadeth that's still in Megadeth, and he's still going to arenas and shit and
Mhm.
and stuff. But the rest of the band is clubs. So, I mean, shit, I've seen Clutch at arenas, and I've seen Clutch in a little tiny club.
Yeah.
Now there's no way because literally when we went and saw him at the club, it was I've
Packed.
never seen a club that full in my entire life. That many people. I mean, seriously, I think
Much bass,
if the
dude.
fire department would have showed up, it'd have been shut down.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. But I've also seen uh I like synthwave, so I got to see Perturbator. And that guy's French. I got to see him in a little tiny club called El Club in
Mm.
Detroit. And my comic book shop is bigger than this
This
club.
club.
Yeah. And I've seen video footage of him doing festivals overseas with tens of thousands of people. And he's doing a club to maybe like 300 people.
I should go MC these small clubs, bro. I
There
wonder
you
if
go.
I could do
You
that.
got any around you? Fuck.
Clubs? Yeah, I'm in Pittsburgh. I'm
Well,
sure.
yeah.
I'm
I
sure.
mean,
Nothing that I could tell you off the top of my head, but I'm just confident that I'm in a major metropolitan city. I'm sure I could find a club, right?
yeah,
But
you'd
yeah,
think.
maybe I get the right in. Maybe the band will know me or something. I could just go MC on stage or some shit.
See, about the time I start getting really in with a club, the club sold.
Really?
Yeah. Now it's I don't think they have metal or rock anymore at all. They do wrestling, I think, 2 nights a week, and I think the other whatever is like probably like hip hop or something.
Mm.
So, and that was one of the places where you went and seen rock and metal back in the day.
AI is gonna bring it back. AI is gonna bring back the heavy metal. You know my theory. AI people are gonna be so untrustworthy of what they're hearing that they're gonna want to see people play the music. They're gonna want to see bands play instruments in front of them.
Yep.
I think there's gonna be a generation of kids. Maybe it's like maybe this one, maybe the one after that. but
They're
they're gonna fucking bring it back, and it's all gonna come right back to form.
my son Joe is 23, and this kid is he loves music. I've got him to go to concerts with me, and this is a kid who does not do well in crowds.
Hmm.
He's been to Clutch with me. He was so happy he got to see the Sword before they broke up, and which is depressing as hell because I finally got to see them too, and then of course they broke up. But we've gone to synthwave. We've gone to, I mean, he saw Joan Jett with my wife back in the day. But this
Oh,
kid
banger show.
will look at music and he'll tear it apart. He knows like, okay, this guy got his from this band over here. That's why he has this sound because he was a fan of this band. And if you could get 10 kids like him really looking at music as an art form and not as a product,
Hmm.
then those 10 kids would teach 10 kids and then 10 kids and then 10 kids and it would just keep expanding. But right now, music is it's a product generated by, there's so many of these big, the biggest fucking headliner in the world right now is Taylor Swift.
Hmm.
And she's 100% created by committee, you know.
Something, yeah.
Yeah. Same with yeah, they're like, oh well, she was this. I'm like, no, when your parents are millionaires and can buy you a record deal, and that's one of the problems that we have locally, or we had locally, was we had one promoter who did the pay to play, and whoever came up with money got to play.
Hmm.
Doesn't matter
Yeah.
how good they are, they could be fuck all garbage. But if they drop that money to buy their X amount of tickets, they could never sell a ticket.
Right.
No one's going to give them money to go see them play.
Right.
So they would just give away their tickets and pay for them just so they could get on the card.
Right.
And now that guy's gone. The guy that was doing that, he's been ran off. So now you're getting actual decent bands. You're only getting like 3 instead of an entire day of music to go see one good band. Because I hate to say this, because every time we'd go, we had an ongoing joke that there was always one Juggalo band in
Mm.
there somewhere.
Fucking ICP, bro.
Well, and the worst part about it is I give one of my really good friends was this close to working with. He's worked with ICP. He's that
I
close.
would hang out with
Yeah,
ICP.
he was
I
almost on the
would
record.
not. I can't stand their music. I would hang out with them all day.
Hell yeah.
All right. I don't want people to get fucked up. Like I would freak to meet Dave Mustaine. All right. But I'm not, Megadeth. One of the big four has to be not for me. Okay.
Well,
And it
that's
just
gonna be
happens
cool
to be
because
Megadeth.
the flag I sent you is a peace sales flag.
Is it?
Yeah,
Peace Cells is my favorite fucking
yeah.
Megadeth
It's
album,
the
though.
it's the album cover. It's
Yeah,
it's
dude.
4 foot by
No,
four
no, it
foot.
fits. It fits. That's the one. That's the one album where I'm like, this is all great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was about Dave's voice then,
It-
but it's like something. I don't know. People hate my voice. It's just how it goes.
well, he even admitted that the weakest part of Megadeth is his vocals.
Right.
So even him, and he's pretty much an arrogant asshole. So and he can admit that he's his
I'm
vocals.
kind of being. I'm being hyperbolic. I'm being hyperbolic. I like Megadeth. Okay. It's just It's not. It's the Metallica fan thing. It's a gag. It's a gag. Right.
Oh man, as I said, there's everybody.
Holy Wars is fucking, dude. Holy Wars will get you fucking going every
Oh,
time. Every time. Fucking Christ. That song rips so hard.
well, you were talking about this. I looked over here because I still had them sitting here. Um, they're not the best albums, but when this album dropped, so far so good. So what? I can't even say dropped. I got into it. Um, in the darkest hour was I was going through a fucking horrible breakup in high school with a girl that was just like never there, and I'm like that hit perfect.
That's how
And
you fucking, that is what makes the CD good.
yeah,
The fact that your girlfriend broke up with you. That is why that CD is like legendary.
yep,
People
all
don't
because
understand that shit.
yep, and
It's
then
not the music. It's like music is it's a, I mean, obviously it's a good percentage of it, but half that cement that fills it all in is you. You are the what is happening around you. How are
Oh
you when
yeah.
you find this?
Well,
What does it lead to for you that you
well,
connect it to? That's why Lux Eterna, dude. I love Lux Eterna. I think it's the best song Metallica's written since the Black Album. Like that song. But I'm like self-aware enough to understand that anybody is listening to a word that I'm saying because of that song. So I don't know how much of you know what I mean? I don't know how much of that what it led to
yeah.
and what it reminds me of when I hear it is, you know,
Well, as I was saying early, my whole thing was is depends on my mood, on what I'm listening to, on how heavy or how whatever. If I'm listening to just rock, I'm chill. Whatever thrash kind of. If I'm listening to black metal or death metal, I'm usually in a foul mood, and it's just because not because of the music, but that's what I want to listen to because I'm in a foul mood.
mm,
I ran all day today, busting my ass. I was behind. I was trying to get shit done. I went and got new tires. I had to get new tires on my car because I blew a tire out on my car. And then what was supposed to take an hour and a half took almost 2.5 hours. And I'm like, so it's just threw my whole entire day off. And my Bolt Thrower album came in yesterday. So I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna listen to Bolt Thrower. And I was listening to
you have a
that.
CD player in your car.
Yeah, I got a CD player in my car. I got a CD
Do
player in
I
my
have a
car.
CD player in my car?
And
I don't know.
it's like, I mean, most of the time I just buy the records
Right.
and then I take and if I buy them through Amazon, I could put them on my Amazon Music and I
Digital.
listen to them on my
Yeah.
phone. But when I got home today, I was doing editing and stuff like that, so I put that on, and I was in a kind of a grumpy ass mood, and I was listening to that, and it leveled me out.
So it
So
goes, man.
that's just it.
That's
But
it.
black metal, I definitely got to be in the mood. I got to be in.
I I don't I don't think I'm into any black metal bands at
See,
all.
I got a friend, but guy I used to work with, hated to drive, despised it. He would so he started paying for me to go to concerts if I drove. I even drove his car. It wasn't even my car that I had to drive
Right.
because he hated driving that bad. So he's like, man, I guess I'm going to go see uh, Dimmu Borgir and Satyricon in Cleveland. And one is I hate Cleveland, but he's like, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll go. And I went, and Dimmu Borgir kicked ass.
Yeah, I bet. I
They,
bet.
yeah, and it was one of the ones where you're just like, fuck, okay, maybe I'm missing something. So I started listening to them, Satyricon, um, Emperor, you know, and I'm also trying to stay away from, yeah, I get there's some of them that are very much connected with like Nazi shit, and I don't want to be connected with that. So you got
Hardcore punk has that problem too.
yeah, and oh yeah, that was one thing is I got a few years back I got a guy's music collection. So this is like I don't know, like 1,000 cassette tapes and probably 500 CDs. And I'm going through there, and there's like Screwdriver and shit like that. I'm like, oh fuck, what do I do with these fucking Nazi fucking?
Sell them.
And then I'm like,
Sell them under an alias.
I actually what they did is they ended up in the garbage can. I didn't even
Yeah.
fucking sell them. I was like, nope, nope, I don't want that.
Yeah.
And it's
This is a brand risk later.
like I don't want to do with that. And but same thing. The other, oh man, fucking the other day, my son Vince discovered the Ramones.
Fuck yeah.
And I
That's
don't know
another
how, and
fuck.
I don't know why, but all of a sudden he just looks at it, and I'm moving my albums around, and I pull out the Ramones. He goes, "I want to listen to Ramones," and I'm just like,
Hey
"What?
dude.
Okay, oh
Fuck
yeah."
yeah,
I
bro.
dropped it. I'm
I
like, "We're
love the
listening to
Ramones.
Ramones then, bud." So But hell
I
yeah.
realized I don't have an ACDC t-shirt. I gotta buy one. I realized I don't have one anymore. I used to have a ton of them.
See, I had the old school ACDC back in black one. I've never seen them live either, so I never had any real
Yeah.
concert shirts.
I used to live pretty close to Brian in Florida, and we saw him out and about a couple of times. I never had the balls to talk to him, but yeah. Oh, all right, brother. I have like at
Yeah,
least an hour of cooking to do from
yeah.
now, and
Well,
my bedtime is 10 p.m. So
okay. Well, you need to get ready for
the
bed, and go
company
get some
bed.
cooking. But remember, homework. Listen
Yes,
to the company band.
I got it. I will set it up while I'm fucking eating chicken tacos for sure.
Yep. So while you're cooking dinner, listen to some company band. You'll love them.
Fuck
So,
yeah, dude.
all right, man. Well, you have a good night, and I'll
Yes,
edit
sir.
this one to figure out what day we're gonna drop it and all that fun
Yeah,
shit.
just let me know.
When you get more information about getting bands on here too, we can work that shit out too. So
Yeah, I'll I'll think about how we can do that or reach out to some of these guys. Whoever was
yeah,
first in line, I'll talk to them
yeah. I'll
because
start putting.
I put them on pause like 2 weeks ago. So I told them that it's gonna happen. I just don't know when. I'll reach out to you when I'm ready.
Yeah,
So
man. So you have a good night, man. Take
you
care,
too, bro.
and I'll talk to you later. Good night, sir.
Later, Ross.